One of the best things that white women can do right now is get arrested. And I know it sounds like I'm being facetious or intentionally shocking in hopes of getting you to stop scrolling, but I'm actually incredibly serious about this, and I'll explain why. My recent video calling for white women to go DEFCON Karen in defense of our communities against the ICE immigration raids that the Trump administration has begun carrying out went viral. And as a result, I had several women asking me variations of the same question. Won't I get arrested? What's the point of being arrested? How does that help? And absolutely no hate to those commenters, because I actually think that that is an incredibly fair question and also a really important one. So the short answer is yes. Yeah. Yes. If you do what I am calling for all of us to do and go DEFCON Karen on immigration officials, there is a chance that you will be arrested for it. It's not guaranteed. I don't even think that it's necessarily likely in most situations for a couple of reasons, right? You aren't necessarily doing anything illegal depending on how you choose to distract them or delay them. But also, just by sheer virtue of us being white women, we are statistically much less likely to be arrested for something than our black and brown neighbors. But yes, there is a chance that you would be arrested. These raids are shock and awe for the Trump administration. It's projecting strength. It's also meant to overwhelm all of us and make a big media splash. White women choosing en masse to risk being arrested is our version of shock and awe. There is no single action that I can think of that would be more likely to get the Trump administration to pause or maybe even stop mass deportations than for the news cycle to be taken over by images of middle-class and working-class white women willingly getting arrested in order to stand in opposition to the cruel actions being taken by the President of the United States. When we do something like this, we are far more likely to get heavy media coverage for it, just by virtue of being white women. When we do something like this, we are significantly more likely to be treated with lenience by the justice system, just by virtue of being white women. Imagine Donald Trump waking up to discover that newspapers across the nation have had their front pages taken over by images of middle-class and working-class white women choosing to get arrested in direct opposition to his raids. Imagine how angry he would be if, instead of them talking on the news that night about how powerful he is and how all of us are so intimidated by him, imagine if instead they were talking about the bravery and the solidarity being shown by a bunch of white women. Imagine the way it would instantaneously change the narrative if a bunch of us who, quite frankly, look like Trump supporters just by virtue of our skin, imagine how it would change the narrative if all of a sudden the news cycle was talking about how we are standing in solidarity with our black and brown neighbors. That would send an incredibly powerful message, and it would turn the narrative against the Trump administration. And keep in mind, there is strength in numbers. They might be able to punish some of us, but they cannot punish all of us. If enough of us take action, it's incredibly difficult for them to punish all of us. And even if you do get arrested, I can promise you there will be approximately 100 people immediately lined up to help bail you out. And finally, if there is a part of you that is nervous about doing this because you do not feel confident that there are enough other white women willing to risk being arrested to protect their community, I would encourage you to reflect on that. If we as white women cannot even trust that white women will step up and do the right thing, why the fuck would black and brown people ever trust us? If we as white women cannot trust white women, why the fuck would black and brown women trust us? We have to earn their trust back. There is no fun or comfortable way of doing that, because the way that we lost their trust was not fun or comfortable for them. Our collective actions put them at risk. And the way that we earn their trust back is assuming some of that risk back onto ourselves.